Good morning, good evening, and welcome to this week's Fiberific live craft and chat, where we craft and chat live. I just realized I haven't put my phone on Do Not Disturb, so I'm just gonna boof, done that. That is done. Okay, it has been a crazy morning of getting things done here. So, YouTube's like, should we put ads in this live stream for you? No, go away. Sorry. I'm a control freak. I want to decide if I have ads or not. So good morning to everybody who is here. Gabby Rodriguez, Bianca, Kerry Randall is jumping in. Kelly Pole is here. Knit Spin Girls, and Kerry is saying she has to go to work, so she can't hang out for long. I'm so sorry, Kerry. I'm so sorry. But it's been a big couple of weeks. Last week we didn't live stream because I was getting ready for a retreat, but also the day before I'd had an iron infusion and wasn't feeling the greatest. So I thought, look, let's just give ourselves a little break. Only so many things a person can do, and get ready for a retreat a bit slower rather than try and fit it into half a day, and fit it into a whole day instead of half a day. Anyway, turns out I still forgot things I wanted to take to retreat. They were in the fridge. Let me know in the chat if you've forgotten things that you wanted to take somewhere because they were somewhere where they had to be to survive until you could leave. I always leave the things that need to go in the fridge. And do you know what's really annoying is I had it all packed and ready to go. It was ready. Yeah. But retreat was just so much fun. I'm slowly feeding some photos out onto my Fiberific Instagram. If you want to go and check those out, you can. One of the things that we did, we had a sponsor for this year's retreat, which was the Oz Yarn Co. They sent us some Sierra Chunky. So we all, pretty well all of us made this or some version of this. And it was just using the Sierra Chunky and some 10 mil knitting needles, and this pattern here, which is it's a bit crunchy, Susie Ray Chunky Twist Headband. Now, of course, I didn't put that link in my description, but it is a free pattern. So if you want to go and give it a try, you totally can. Those of us that were retreat, we're tagging it with a retreat tag, so you can check that out in my Ravelry thing. But if you want to make this, you can check it out from, if you could tag that, sorry, I need more coffee. If you could tag that with like Fiberific Live or something, that way you still get to be part of the Fiberific tag. But it was so beautiful to make, and it's so stretchy. It's so much give. And I just thought it was gorgeous. Now, I've always been a bit like, I was going to be a bit like hit and miss over the knot, but I've actually found that it's perfect at the back to sit under my ponytail. So I can have the flat of the headband at the front and that at the back. Or I saw there were photos of people who had theirs off to the side. You can do it, it's yours. You can wear it however you want. So I'm going to pop that back on my little mannequin head and put this back over. It's in your eyes. You can't have it in your eyes. Alrighty, get that back over there. I might move it, there we go, to the side so we can see it. Oh, thank you, Kelly, for adding that in. I'm just going to have a coffee. I've got a new Yeti mug for my Yeti collection. It's got a handle. I got it for my birthday. My husband gave it to me. I honestly didn't think that he would ever support the Yeti life, but not only did he buy me a new mug, he's bought himself a water bottle. Very yummy. All right, Kelly, thank you so much for adding that in. I very much appreciate that. Okay, so now a couple of days ago was my birthday. And guess what we were starting on my birthday, which was the Jethro Cardigans. So if you are over on the Discord, we're having conversations over there about the Jethro, about what colors we're using, all this sort of stuff. So that has officially started. Now, I didn't get any Jethro work done yesterday, but on Tuesday, I sat down and did, I'm going to hold them up here, all my middle rows are done. There's 65 of them for me. 65! Anyway, I'm trying not to be upset about this. I am really trying hard to not be upset about it. But over in the Discord, there was a link added in for a really great tutorial on how to crochet over your ends and add them in and weave them in as you go while doing something like a granny square. So that, you know how with granny squares you've got that little triangle of air, or triangle of air, and you can't just weave it across there. It shows how to actually get it up and across and back down again. I want to watch it again before I get too heavily into it, but I am going to start. Today's journey is the next round. So this is my granny square, my test square. So I need to do 65 4-row granny squares according to the pattern. And then this 5th row, I needed it for measurement, but it's actually, it's a join as you go project. So I just need these 4. So what I'll be doing is trying as best I can, to have them as different as possible within the realm of the colors. There is a super chat here. All the super chats look different now over on the, here we go. Super chat for $10 from Home Rapid Repair. I missed your birthday. I heard Nick Nimmin mention it. Thank you. Thanks so much, Home Rapid Repair. I can't wait to see you in like how many days. I live, so before I suppose we'll just jump back here. Before we go too far down the rabbit hole, probably some housekeeping for over the next few weeks. I won't be live streaming here on this channel next Thursday or the Thursday after. Next Thursday, it's because I'm getting ready to fly out of the country and I'm already terrified. And I leave on our Saturday here in Australia. And so I want to just give myself the time I need to do last minute running around and stuff like that. I probably in my brain, I probably should keep the live stream because I'll need some downtime just to craft or just to gather my thoughts. But I was sort of sitting down last night, writing down some things because I'd planned to live stream next week. And I've realized I just can't fit it all in. I just can't. So today will be our last live stream on here for a couple of weeks. I'm hoping to do one the week after the week I get back because I land on Tuesday. So I'm going to play that a little bit by ear and see how I go. I might be a zombie. We might do a zombie stream where Chantel is getting over jet lag. So we'll see how that goes. So I can't guarantee that. So there may be a 3-week gap. Now, this also means I will not be attending the Saturday 31st at Kawanda Cafe, which is still happening. There's still a pile of amazing people going, just not me. And I'll also be missing a couple of caffeinated crafters on the Thursday nights at IKEA as well, just sort of on either side of the event. So I'm so excited about this whole thing, but it means I have to give up some stuff as well, which is okay. It's okay. And I'll still be chatting and DMing and in the Discord and things like that. So I'll still be around. I just won't be here. Like, I won't be here, but I won't even be in your computers all that much, I don't think. So still trying to work out some live stream stuff for my other channel. There's a possibility of a stream happening while I'm away. But I'm not 100% certain if I'm going to have time for it. So I don't want to make any promises. Thank you, Knit Spin Girls. Holly says, I wish I could see you while you're in Dallas. I really do appreciate that. It's one of these things, like, if I had have known sooner and what my schedule was going to be like over the event, and I could save some extra dollary dues, I would have tried to book in some extra days, but because it just sort of happened so quickly, I just needed to go the days that they wanted me there, and just a couple on either side just for sort of buffering. Um, and but I'm thinking that if I ever get the opportunity to go again, I would hope I would have a little bit more notice, which I may not get, but I would hope I could have a little bit more notice and just save up a little bit more so I can spend a little more time. Or even do something like not be terrified of flying through LA. And I've got a lot of people that I'd love to meet up with in LA. So being able to actually stop there for a day or two, and then go out that way. But that's for another time. So let's go. Let's jump in. Let's get this going. So, beverage goblins. Where's the beverage goblins in the chat? Let me know. I have my coffee in my new 10-ounce cup, which I have to say is the perfect size for my coffee machine because it fills it up just the perfect amount to leave just the right amount for milk, so I don't accidentally over milk my coffee. I've made tea in the little one today. I call this the little one. It's no longer the little one. It's the middle one now. You're the middle one. And then Big Bertha is full of just straight up tap water. Tap water, I totally can drink it. Thank you, Susanna. Great to see you in the chat. Appreciate the birthday wishes as well. I'm so excited. Alrighty, let's drop down to this hands shot. Come on, yeah, there we go. I'm like, please focus. I went to all this effort to line them up all pretty. That one's, there we go, squish it down. I made all that effort to line them up and make sure their bands were the right way around. Look, you can just come down. Why are you doing that? You can try again. All right, I need to just stop that from happening. Where is, you are under the Logi Tune. Where is Logi Tune? I gotta stop that autofocus. It's driving me doolally. If I was Logi Tune, where would I be? There I am. Logi Tune, thank you. Let's find your image adjustments, autofocus. Let's get it focused and then turn it off. Ha ha ha. There you go. It shouldn't do it anymore. Alrighty. I'm the winner. I beat you for now. Christina says that flavored water in my 40-ounce tumbler. Okay, so I gotta learn this. So your 40-ounce tumbler, I'm just checking this guy here. Does it specify? So your tumbler is bigger than my water bottle because mine is a 38-ounce water bottle. 38 or 36? Hang on. I think it's very tiny writing. My arms aren't quite. Can you read that? Can it do it? No, it blurs out just at the point. I think it says 38. It might be 36. Where's my phone? I just need my old lady phone to check this stuff, okay? Because I'm old and I can't read anything. All right, let's just turn that up the right way before I have a heart attack. Okay, no, it's a 36-ounce. My water bottle, which I think is ginormous, is a 36-ounce water bottle. And your tumbler is 40 ounces. Christina, you must get a workout. Like, seriously, that's gold. I love it. And I love that you've got it and that you're drinking water out of it. Vampire is not hitting goblin status today with only 2 drinks, coffee and a giant glass of water. That is awesome. That is awesome. Kelly, am I the only beverage goblin today? I feel alone and I do feel alone. Christina says, yes, I drink a lot of water. That's awesome. Look, in saying that, I do refill this. I get 2 of these a day. I drink 2 of these a day. So, you know, you probably don't need to refill yours. So that's a bonus, right? You've got all the water you need for the day. Okay, so with these, most of them have got 11. Some of them have got, one of them's got 10 because I needed 65, not 66. So what I'm thinking of doing, so other than this one, 2, 4, 5, they can each have 2 of each color for the second round, and then just randomly choose one of them to be the third color. So Does that make any sense whatsoever? Artag's got some tea for now. Oh, hey, great. It's great to see you, Artag. Dolores has a glass of water, but I left it 2 steps away and the pup is asleep. Oh. So no, so you're just going to dehydrate. Sorry, that's just how it works. Alrighty. So, I mean, let's just see how we go here. All right. I'm going to go with this color because it's a bit contrasty. One thing I'll say is I really thought that some of these colors were going to contrast each other a little more, but they're a little too close together. So I really do have to try and, you know, really just need to I'm just reading Kelly's, like, she's dissing me in the chat here. You mean you didn't math it out with a spreadsheet, a diagram it to sort your colors? Wild. No, I didn't. Have you met me? Do you know me? So yeah. Now look, I'm gonna say something a little bit controversial here. Most patterns tell you to do 3 chains at the start of them. If I do 3 chains, I end up with this like big wobbly bit. So I just do 2. And I know it's controversial. I get it. I do get it. But it's just what I'm doing. It's just what I'm doing. So let me know in the chat what you're working on right now. Like, I know some of you have got are working on Jethros. Some of you are planning Jethros, but may not be ready to start them yet. There's no race. I won't be taking this to the US with me, so it's going to be put down for a few weeks. So those of you that haven't had a chance to start, you definitely won't be left behind. So you know, just go with what you've got. Go with, you know, go with whatever time frame you want. Jance does a standing crochet. Kelly does she does 2 as well, or a standing stitch. Yeah, for me it depends on what I'm doing. Sometimes I'll do a standing stitch. Sometimes I'll do a single crochet with a chain on top. It just really depends on what I'm making, and also where my frame of mind is at, to make sure I remember to do it across the entire project, because that's a big thing. Whatever you start with, go on with, is really what I try to suggest. Just because, oops, hang on, I just want to bring this guy across. I want to see if I can do the thing. And I wrapped him around the wrong way, so we'll see if it works. Alrighty. I'm not going to be doing it exactly the same way as that awesome video that was added into our group chat, because I haven't watched it enough. So I don't really know what I'm supposed to do. Hang on a second. This is where it gets trickier. I need to come in under this, grab that. No, I want to come in over it. No, I want it to lift up, so I need to come in under. There we go. Oh, helps if I do the actual stitch, doesn't it? Like, do the draw through 2, draw through 2, numpty. There we go. We'll see how it looks. I do have to pull it a bit tighter. It is the wrong way around. I should have done it a different way to start with, but we'll see what it looks like. And I need to lift him up here. I don't think it's actually going to work, because I went around the wrong way, and it's not going to be lifted up on the other side. Oops, I split the yarn. Let me just fix that. All right. No, I botched it. Let me try again. I don't know why I was doing chains there. No, that's not gonna work. No, I'll have to fix that one up somehow. Let's just go back and fix these guys up and do them properly, and I'll just weave that end in. I'll just weave it in. She says now, that's going to come back, isn't it? Be like, Chantel, hey, did you ever weave that end? No, I didn't. It's like 27 years later, and the end's not woven in. I do have scissors. Look at this. I'm organized. Alrighty. Next one, I will run it the other way. And I think that was the problem. I tried to run it backwards rather than forward. Maru Shard, great to see you in the chat. Alrighty. So that one, that's a lesson in what not to do. Let's not do that again. It helps if I open the lid. Actually, Leanne's just talking about internet issues. I need to warn you guys, there is like a whole pile of pole work happening, like electricity pole work in our area. And I went out and had a little talk to the guys because they're on basically the pole that sends electricity to my house. And they were like, look, we're not going to shut your power off here as such, but we will be shutting power off in neighboring streets, and depending on which phase you're on, that may affect you. I have no idea which phase I'm on because I don't actually know what that means. But there is a possibility that at some stage I'm just going to go dark and there's not going to be anything I can do about it because I won't have any internet, I won't have any lights. I'll be able to jump on from my phone or something, but it would be a whole separate stream because I'm not using StreamYard, and one of the advantages of StreamYard is being able to deal with that. But I'm not doing that today. So if that happens, that's what's happening. Okay, if I disappear, if everything goes dark, that's what's happened. All right, it's the power went out. Let's see if we can do a standing stitch. I really think this is not right. I think I need to watch the video again because with changing colors, it needs to hide, right? And also that standing stitch didn't go tall enough. I'm going to go another chain there. Yeah, so, whatever you do to make it work, you just need to make it work. I actually think that crocheting over the top of those actually works there because they get all munched up. I think it's just lifting it up over the gap here. So in one. And then it goes over here. Yeah, I think you're gonna be able to see it carry. Has anyone done it before? Do they know if that it visibly carries? I don't like anything that visibly carries. What do I do there? I'm just trying too hard, I think. I think I'm just going to be weaving all these ends in. That's all right. I kind of assumed I'd have to be. It's been, Dolores says, everyone in my house has large feet. I get so excited when I knit for people with regular size feet. I've got little feet. So, that's That's one of the things I actually love about knitting socks for me. They're done pretty quickly. Unless I'm doing something crazy like knee-high socks, then they take a lot longer. I am going to have to go back and watch that video, just to see what I'm doing wrong, because I could have sworn it looked really nice. Who's watched the video that I'm talking about? Leanne says, the thing for me, I'll just sew them in. Yeah, I'm thinking the same, honestly. At least for these first couple of rounds, like for what I get done today, I'll just sew those in. Then I'll watch the video and I'll go from there. But I watched it once. I meant to watch it again this morning and got sidetracked with some other work, and then didn't end up, sitting at the computer and watching the video I wanted to watch. I did something else. So yeah. Melissa Elliott, welcome to the group. I hope you enjoying your knitting adventures. It is a new thing. Knitting, we've all been new. We've all had to learn how to do stuff. So yeah, no questions at when it comes to knitting and crocheting. And also, just because you know how to do something one way doesn't mean that there's not alternative ways. That's one of the things I love about crafting, is that there's lots of different ways to do things, and lots of them are right. What was that, Louie? Oh, you've bunched up your blanket, dude. I've just realised we've got a Louie in the house. And I might set up his little camera. We'll see what we can do here for Louie in the house. There he is. Louis is scrunched all his little blanket up, but he has brought a ball. So I'm not quite sure if he intends for me to play with that or not. I don't think I'll be able to help him out there today. Let me look here. Also, I'm sorry if you can hear a lot of construction and stuff noise. Yesterday, we had the dueling chainsaws of next door and the tree mulching going on. That was insanely loud. Ended up going out. It was so loud. And then this morning, their neighbors on the other side, they're doing something with like circular saws and loudness, but also the guys doing the stuff with the power poles, they're doing loud things. So there's so much noise coming around. I cannot block it out of the house. So I'm so sorry if you also can hear it. I really hope you can't. Gabby says, I've watched it and it hides it well. Okay, all right, so it's a me thing, and I can live with that, because I know I only watched it once and I didn't watch it with yarn in my hands. So I definitely need to get in there and watch it again with yarn in my hands, and get it going, because it looked really promising. And I think it's just my brain trying to just, remember how to do it from one watching is not enough. Dolores says that I watched the video, however, I'm knitting my Jethro in one colour. So you're not going to have to worry about all the colour changing. Oh, well, that's awesome. What colour are you doing yours in? Melissa Elliott, I'm doing a Jethro cardigan, and it's actually going to be a mix of knit and crochet. I'm just going to scrub back to the chat here. In the description below is a link to the Jethro cardigan. I don't think we've actually added it to the chat yet. I can't pin it. I can't see on there. So if one of the mods could throw the link to my Jethro cardigan on Ravelry, that would be super awesome. And then I can pin that up. So so what it is, it's actually, we're crocheting all these granny squares, and then you actually join them together and we knit our sleeves and we knit the collar band. So it's actually a combination of knitting and crochet together, which I've not really done a lot of projects with them both. I normally choose one or the other. Thank you so much for that, Kelly. I'll just pin that. So I've pinned to the top of the live chat there a message from Kelly, and that is a link to my Ravelry project, which will get you to the pattern and things like that. So you can go and check that out as well. I don't need a chain there. What am I even doing? I don't know what I'm doing. Do any of you have a day where you're just like, what even am I doing? Like, it's just, there's just too much happening in my brain. It just needs to calm down just a little. Just a little. Maru says, yeah, my Wi-Fi has been laggy and buggy since my power went out near my house. I believe it was around a week. I'm home. It'll be fixed soon. I mean, I know you're not in Australia, but what I tend to do, and you may have already done this, is I turn off my router and my router and my modem. I turn them both off, and then after I wait full 5 minutes with them turned off with no power running to them, and then after that I turn on So for me, it's the NBN modem. I turn that on first. So the modem on first and make sure that's all set up and it's got all the correct blinky lights. And then I turn my router on, which is my Wi-Fi and everything. And then I wait for that and then I test it, because sometimes when there's a power outage, it just gets all your ports on your Wi-Fi routers a bit janky. So being able to just go in and do that yourself means you don't have to wait for some technology person to go, have you tried turning it off and on again? But yeah, you do, and you really do need to wait like at least 2 minutes before you turn it back on again. It's not just an off and on kind of situation. It's turn it off, walk away, come back, turn it back on, and one at a time. Don't turn them both. If you've got the two things, don't turn them both on together. Turn the one on that brings the internet into the house. Turn that one on first, make sure it's all up and running, and then the second one, which is usually, the one that all your Wi-Fi runs out of, get that one up and running. I might just crochet over this guy here just to get him out of the way of a corner. But yeah, it may not work. It might not solve your problem. There might be a larger issue. I know one time we had a power outage here and it turned out that my Wi-Fi router was actually dead. The issue was the router and it had to be replaced. So sometimes the issues are not what we want them to be. We just want it to turn off and on again. And it's like, I didn't turn it off. Somebody else turned it off at a street level. And it's just frustrating. I'll just make sure I've got 4 corners. Bloop, on there. Next one. I haven't done a granny square project like this for a while. I think my last one off the top of my head was the fireside blanket. Like, sometimes you guys know which projects I've been working on better than I do, so let me know if I've missed one. But I think it was the fireside, and I remembered loving working on that fireside blanket. Just all the different squares, the different size squares. I mean, admittedly, all my squares will be the same size for this particular project. But just all the colors and the particular yarn. I bought the kit from Wool Warehouse, and it was just exactly what I needed. It was so lovely. The yarns were lovely. It was a yarn I'd never used before. Like, let me know in the chat if you are buying a kit for yarn and you're like, I've never used this yarn before, but I'm buying a whole kit of it. Do you get nervous that you're just going to hate it? And I really thought, I'm going to hate this. I'm going to hate this so much. And then I was so pleasantly surprised when I didn't hate it. It was just so lovely to work with. I think part of it is because it was a Stylecraft yarn. It was Stylecraft Heathers. And I'm actually not a fan of Stylecraft Special DK. I don't like how it feels. Some people love it. I don't love it. I love the color range that it has. I don't love the texture of the yarn. This Cleckheaton Midlands, because I'm making a wearable, I've gone up a level. So this is actually just a beautiful single origin merino wool from Tasmania in Australia. It's not the cheapest of yarn out there, trust me. But because I'm making a wearable, okay, so I don't want that color. So I do need this one. Yeah, it's I'm okay with spending that little bit more on the yarn. If it was just a blanket or something, I don't think I would make a blanket out of the Midlands. Not that the blanket wouldn't be absolutely glorious, but it would be a hand, like, let me just look here. This is a hand wash wool. This is, or a gentle machine wash. You know, this is not a toss it in the washing machine, throw it in the dryer kind of situation. And so with blankets and stuff, I like to just be able to just toss it in the washing machine and throw it in the dryer. Kerry, have an awesome day at work. Yeah. Oh yeah, Maru. Yeah, I get it. I definitely get it. You know, if you've got somebody who's a bit more, who does usually handle the technology in your house, let them deal with it for sure. Um, but yeah, just it's such a deliciously soft yarn, but it is on the more expensive end of the scale. It's pure merino. Um, but I'm making myself a cardigan, like hopefully something I'll get to wear. Like I'm like hopefully if it fits me, I will wear it a lot because I think it's gorgeous and I love these colors that I've chosen. Um, a few weeks, like when we were first looking at the colors, I didn't have enough colors because you needed at least 6 colors, I think. 2, 4, 6. Yeah, I needed at least 6, and I only had 4. And then I couldn't choose between some colors. Also, there is the gray on the outside, so I do have the 7 colors. And so I was just like, you know what? I looked at some of the other patterns that people were doing, and some people just stash busting, and while the colors worked together, they weren't the same 6 colors. They were like, one of them had like, I stopped counting at 10. So I was just like, you know what? I can live with this. This is cool. And if you go digging through the projects of what other people have already done, I really love the idea of when you're knitting the sleeves, adding in just little pops of like a couple of little stripes of each of the colors to what will be gray sleeves for me. I think that just really sort of brings it all in together. So I definitely plan on doing that as well. So yeah, lots of options. Yeah, this one. This is what I'm working on. To sort of just keep going with all of that. So let me just check in here. Game Widows is here. She's working on her Cyril project. That's awesome. And keep going. Yeah. So, but I'm also still working on my silver top that I want to take away with me. I'm not quite done. I am up to the sleeves. I'm up to the second piece, whether it's the front or back, I haven't decided yet. But I am into the sleeves on that as well. So, but I figured, it's time to work on the Jethro a little bit, and I won't get the opportunity to work on that at all while I'm away. So I wanted to get just a little bit of it done, and sort of, you know, look forward to the next bit when I come home. So I thought if we can get a couple of the rounds of colors on, that would be really cool. Now I do have to double check. I do think I've got to do 4 rows of color and then the gray. I keep doubting myself. So yeah, okay, 4 rounds of color and then the gray. All right. Okay, so this is the correct plan. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the grey. So I have plenty enough yarn. I'm not going to run out of yarn. I may run out of the grey if I run out of anything, but I have plenty enough of all the colours. I actually am expecting to have quite a few leftovers for other things. So we'll see how all that goes. Alrighty, and join you on to the top of the thing. Okay, snippers, snip, snips. Alrighty, we're ploughing through the bag of blue. Alright, we've done 1, 2, 3, so we're onto the yellow. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have way too many. And then I forgot I've still got this colour to do. Next time I'll just do it in order instead of picking a colour I like first, like a weirdo. So, while I've been on, like when I'm having my breaks and what have you, I've been catching up on the Brokenwood mysteries. Thank you to the suggestion of you guys here in the chat. And I'm loving it. I remember I had watched the first episode and I was a bit like meh about it. But I realized what I watched next after it was Loki, and I think what I wanted to do was just watch Loki anyway. So if you're in the mood for Loki, you're not going to be in the mood for Brokenwood. And so I think it was that. But once I got through to that second episode, I was just like, yeah, this is gold. I'm sticking with this. So luckily there's a lot of episodes and I'm really enjoying it. So very much looking forward to watching more of it, which I love. I did receive some birthday presents from my family. So my daughter gave me a pair of gorgeous little sandals that I was absolutely loving all over. So I was so excited when I saw those because I bought them in one color and then was just like, oh man, I really would like them in this other color as well because they're so comfy and they're so cute. And then, when you do that thing where you regret not buying the other color and you're just like, oh, I was there. I was at that, I wish I had bought the second pair kind of place. Well, Abby to the rescue because she'd bought me the second pair. Did I do a chain there when I wasn't supposed to? No, it's just a bit loose. Hang on, let me just solve this. There we go. It was just a bit loose. And then Tim got me this gorgeous Yeti in this beautiful color. I don't know what the color is. I probably should have looked it up. Is this the new lime or is this I don't think this is the new lime. I think this is a different color. I have to be really careful and remind myself that this one I cannot tip upside down because it's not water. It's good to stop splashes. It doesn't stop spills. Remember that. Sea foam. Thank you, Kelly. Like I knew you'd come to the party on that one. And then he also got me Eureka on DVD, but unfortunately, he did buy the wrong region. Well, actually, I went through the listing that he bought it from, and unless you know anything about DVD regions, which a lot of people don't, because you just assume that the DVDs that you can buy are going to work in your area. Unless you had have known like geographically, like, okay, this is being shipped out of this country, it's not going to work here. There was no notice on the actual listing of what region the DVDs were from. And he was just like, other listings that he'd looked at said, this will not work in Australia, this region. And it was like an alert that came up. That alert wasn't there. So he thought he was safe. So that's had to go back. So we have to, he's deciding on something else. I don't know what he's going to do. It's going to be a surprise. Oh, Kelly says it's because we have one in the same color. Now, Kelly, are you a 10-ounce cup person or do you prefer your cups to be a different size? Just out of curiosity. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, Brokenwood's amazing, Bianca. I'm loving it. Holly says, I learned about DVD regions when I bought a DVD while in Australia and it didn't work at home. Yeah, and the trick is, right, it's not just Australian DVDs. There's different geographical regions. And so different like the Blu-rays for Australia are the same Blu-ray region as the UK, but the DVDs from Australia are not the same region from the UK. They're more, um, they're more Asian. They're more like, around locally, and so it's just really confusing. And I understand that part of it is because we do use different power. Like so, if it's or at least originally that was the issue. I don't think it's the issue anymore. But anyway, I just feel geo-blocked here in Australia. Like we just miss out on stuff because they're not making. And then to make matters even worse, companies like Disney no longer are releasing DVDs or physical media into the Australian shopping market. So the only place I can and the last new release they did for an Australian market was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So anything after that, I have to import. It's not available here in stores. And so, at least for Disney anyway. And other companies are following suit. And so it's getting harder and harder and harder to buy physical media here in Australia. And it's really annoying because it's really frustrating and annoying because you've got all these streaming services, right, which I think are great, and I love them and I use them all the time. But I actually personally prefer to have the DVDs and Blu-rays because you could be in the middle of a season of something and then all of a sudden it's like, yep, we don't have that anymore now. Sorry. And you have to wait for it to appear on another streaming service somewhere. Now, and I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, but even when you purchase a DVD, like a movie or a show on one of these streaming services, even when you've made the additional purchase, that purchase is only available while they have the rights to it. So you could easily actually lose access to a thing that you paid extra money for. So I don't pay extra money for anything that's not a physical, that's not physical media anymore, purely because of the fact that you could just lose it. Now, I say anymore. I do actually have a couple of things that I have purchased in the past, and one of them I have lost access to, which was really annoying when I found out what the deal was there. But it happens across the board. It's happening to a lot of people. Just because you purchased the right to it on a streaming service, like you bought the actual, like say you bought it through Google Movies or something like that, that doesn't mean you are guaranteed that you will have that forever. That just means that you'll have it until they no longer have it in their library. So yeah, it's pretty annoying. I'll be honest. So yeah. Australians DVD region is 4 and our Blu-ray region is B. And so, you've really just got to keep an eye on it. So you need to work out which ones are right for your country as well. I keep it in a little like Google Doc, like a keep list, where I've got my wish list of physical media. I've actually got it written right there so I don't forget. Because it's really easy to forget, especially when you're like, oh my God, I found the thing I want. And I'm so excited because I haven't found it for ages and ages. And, and then you get it and you realize it's not the right one. But you've also got to be really wary because sometimes the listing will not specify the region. And you just have to know, does that geographical region work? You just don't know. Jancy says you can normally find an unlocking code for your player on the web. I couldn't find anything for the PlayStation, which is how we consume most of our things. And our little Blu-ray players and stuff are real old. Other than the PlayStation, the rest of our viewing Blu-ray players, I'm not kidding. It didn't work because I tested out a DVD player, 2 Blu-ray players, a Wii, and a PlayStation. And some of these things were they were in a box getting ready to be given away. And so I'm having to dust them off. And so I've worked out, okay, the old Pioneer Blu-ray DVD player that was our very first DVD player when we got married Doesn't power on. That just needs to go in the bin now, or somewhere for electronic spare parts, because it wouldn't even power up. The Blu-ray players worked. They were champions. Wouldn't play it. So one of them, I'm like, dude, maybe I'm just going to stick this out with the TV, because its audio was synced better than going through the PlayStation. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do that as well and have it just sitting right there. Like, why not? Deb's in the chat. Hello, Deb. I'm just rambling. You know the drill. Stock standard Chantel 101. Ramble about stuff that's annoying. Oh, Vampire, that's the thing, isn't it? I was actually, I've just had this horrible thought. Have I been checking to make sure I'm working onto the right side of the, oh my gosh. All right, everybody, just bear with while I double check. That's the right side. That's the right side. Right side. That's the right side. I am so lucky. I am so lucky that that worked. Just so lucky that worked. Oh. Oh my gosh. I hadn't even checked any of them. It just happens to have been how I did it. So lucky. Oh, I'm just going to have a little sip of coffee. Just a little sip of coffee just to get my heart back down to where it was. Knitspin Girl says, I've heard that most really cheap DVD players will play all regions. Look, I did a bit of a Google foo yesterday to find out if you can buy region free DVDs, and you can. I can buy one, but I just I thought the ones that I bought were region free. I'll be honest. I thought when I bought those, they said they were region free, and then to find, because like obviously I do try and buy all my stuff locally from local stores, so usually it's not an issue. But this one particular series, I really want to get Eureka TV series with the one with Colin, I can't think of his name, the blonde guy as the marshal, because there's a couple of Eureka TV series. This one's from the Sci-Fi Network, and it was just hilarious, and I just remember loving it so much. Now I do have an acquired version somewhere. Oh, that's just going to come apart. Let's just go old school here and just do some chains. I do have an acquired version. The quality's not awesome. And I really do prefer to support the legitimate, things. And physical media, did you know that actors and distribution, like actors and stuff like that, they actually get paid more from physical media than they do get paid from like streaming services? So like up until that strike last year, they got paid nothing for something being streamed. So you were not supporting the actors in any way. They did not get residuals from streamed content. Apparently they do now. I don't know what the deals are, whether it's back, whether it includes the back catalog or if it's only new content going forward or whatever. I don't know how all this stuff works. But yeah, it's above my pay grade. But yeah, just definitely making sure that you know what you're getting for your money is really what it boils down to. My brain just totally stopped working then. Did you know that? Did you notice? Did you notice that my brain just stopped and I had a total brain hiccup and just couldn't even work out, oh man, what have I done there? I just, look at that. I didn't do a full repeat there. Should I just, no. Like, should I just add the other half? No, I should not. I should go back and fix it. Otherwise, I will end up upset because when I go back to do the next round, I'll be like, what have I done here? Why do I have to do this one differently to all the others? Okay, it's not like it takes that long to pop in a second row of a granny square, really. Let me just check over here. Emergency abort initiated. Is everyone still here? Am I by myself? Am I still streaming? Am I live? I don't know. I think I'm still streaming. According to YouTube, I'm still streaming. So that's a positive. Okay, the corner is in. The complete corner is done. Let's keep going. Let's just keep going here. I am there. Oh, good. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. It just got very quiet in the chat. Very quiet. I know you're all doing your own thing. Speed knitting from Bianca. What are you up to? Like you just putting on that neckband or something now for that top that you started last week? Just checking. Or are you like cuffs or something? I don't know. I still exist. Thank you, Dolores. Yay. Abby's coming home early. I got a message from her saying that she's coming. She'll actually get home while I'm away. Because there's been no snow. So they're shutting some stuff down there, and they don't need as many hospitality workers, so they're sending them home. So that'll be novel. It'll be really, really nice to see her. I think she gets home the day before me, so she may even get to come to the airport to pick me up, which would be super awesome. Okay, that is in. Boom. I probably left too long a tail on that one, but better too long a tail than not long enough. All right, now for the extra color, I'm going to choose one of the better contrasting ones. So I'm going to choose Lello this time round. There's a trick to this. I do it sometimes without even thinking about it. No, that wasn't it. I'm just going to do the chain. There's little. Yeah. So what are you all working on? Like, let me know in the chat. No, not taking me to the airport, picking me up. Hey, Abs, you've been driving 5 days, but come on, you're taking me to the airport. No. She'll get here a couple of days, but like a day or two before I get back, and then I'll need to be picked up from the airport. So yeah, they do grow up so fast. They really do. Scully, you've changed your handle name. How you going? It's good to see you. Naughty Knitting Sacks is knitting and lurking. Bianca says it's a top down. I'm close to the bottom rib. The sleeves are done. Good point. Good point. Yeah. So, I mean, still it's a big ask. I agree. But I think because like Tim's working from home that day, so he can come pick me up. But, so she might tag along. She might come for a ride. Or she might not. I don't know. She might be too tired. She might be sick. I don't know. It just clicked in my brain then that she may even possibly be able to do it. So maybe she hasn't considered it either. She's currently got tonsillitis. So she is what she calls rotting in bed. I don't like the term, but it does make sense. So she's hanging out in her room, rotting in bed. Oh, I would like to go over that tail if I possibly can, pretty please. Let me have a look here. And we are on to the next baggie of bits. Baggy bits. I don't know. Oh my gosh, Vampire. I know that feeling so well. Our baby turned 19. Mine's 19 now. I know the feeling. Okay, so that is the blue bellies are in there. Light blues. We have done bag 1. Gabby's currently in Michael's trying not to buy all the yarn. You're in the wrong place. If you are trying to not be enabled, don't tell us you're in a yarn store. We'll be like, buy that one. Let's have a look here. I'm working on a shawl to wear for the yarn crawl in September. Nice. Oh, excellent point, Kelly. Yes, we have sold out of next year's retreat. It is 100% sold out. If you want to go onto the waiting list for it, that's held up here in Queensland, it's August 15 to 17 next year, I think, off the top of my head. Let me know. I'll get you the I'll get you the details. Leanne is working on an early lunch. I'm heading out after the live, and I don't want to buy lunch today. Fair enough. No, rotting, not botting, rotting. Let me have a look. Yeah, that is wrong. Sally is currently working on her morning mocha. So this is the real Jethro. Yes, yeah. Like I'm in a chat with Sally, and I was just like I was like, oh my god, I forgot it was Jethro Day. it's like 7 or 8 o'clock on 8 p.m. right on the day. I'm like, well, we'll start today. So I sat down. I refused to go to bed till I got all the first rounds done. I'm like, I can't waste this. I don't have a lot of time. Let's have a look here. I'm working on work and listening in the background. Awesome. Naughty Knitting Socks is making a hat. Kelly says it's sold out because retreat is so awesome. It is. Kelly decided to spring something on me at retreat, and because she's a sneaky squirrel, she invented a game. I don't know if she invented it, but she created a game that was basically Chantel Bingo. I can't remember. Did it have another name? I don't know if you called it something else, but it was along the lines of Chantel Bingo, and basically there were these amazing bingo cards of things that I say, and I'd be having a conversation with somebody, and then all of a sudden somebody would just yell out, what was it, poke the bear? I can't remember what it was. And everyone would start laughing and run over and cross things off there, if it was on their list. And it was so much fun. Poke the bear bingo. Oh, soapbox. They had to yell at soapbox. That's right. And it was so much fun, and it was so awesome. But I can honestly say I'm like, wow, I'm a grumpy person. If I complain about all this stuff all the time, so much so that it ends up in a game, I may need some serious help. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a little confronting, I won't tell a lie, but also all in good humor and all in good fun and all from the right place. So yeah, it was, and everyone had so much fun with it. So, and there was a prize at the end, and the winner chicken dinner was it Deb and Claire, or just Deb? I think Deb was the first prize winner, and then Claire. I can't remember, but anyway, it was very fun, and Deb was the champion. Thank you. And there was a version for me as well where I needed to, like, when someone else said something, I could yell poke the bear. That's where I got confused. I had to yell out poke the bear. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was actually a lot of fun. And so much laughing at retreat. I should be prepared for the sheer amount of laughter at retreat, but I'm never prepared, because I think maybe we'll all be better behaved this year. No is the answer. No, we're never better behaved. I have to say, I definitely like this darker blue with that yellow. It looks lovely. I done here? Did I forget to do the chains before I joined it on? Like a loser. Come back here. I can fix you. You've got enough for tail for me to fix that. Some chains first. Chain. Then in you go. And then that's going to be a little shorty end to work over, isn't it? All right. Blue. Blue. All right. And I just realized why it wasn't working like how I thought it was working, because you actually work over the tail of the color that you've joined on with, not so much working over the tails of the previous rounds. Like, oh man, I just realized what I've been doing, but that's okay. Deb says best game ever. Gabby is really proud of herself. She's come out of Michael's with only 2 balls of yarn. Now, I have done some Google searching. I think I mentioned this in another live stream. But I have done some Google searching. I have found some local Dallas yarn stores. But also, Dallas has both Michael's and Joann's. So I'm going to make some decisions. I don't know how much yarn shopping time I'm going to get to have. But, you know, hopefully I'll get to do something. I'm hoping I can at least hit one of the little yarn stores. My weekends, like my time is being definitely sucked out the window every time I turn around, but it's okay because it's all with good stuff. So I'm all right with that. All right, let me just find the beginning of the jar. So, Gabby, what yarn did you buy? You can't just tell us you bought 2 balls of yarn. We need brands. We need what kind of yarn, what color. We need details, Gabby. Goodness me, you can't take us yarn shopping in your pocket and then not tell us what you bought. It's just not fair. Gabby. You have to tell us. All right, let's see. Let's see if I can do this how I want to do it. Oh, that's the thing. Like, yeah, what size were they? Gabby stayed strong. Yes, she did. Kelly says, or you can post it into the fun zone, the Fibrific fun zone on Facebook or on Discord with photos. Absolutely. You've got options. What am I doing here? My brain just totally forgot how to do a double crochet. So I need that to go over that. There we go. And then that to go over that. And then we try it again. And then we go over here. And then like that. And then we go like this. And there our end is woven in across. And it's not visible. What hook brand is this? This is one of my stock standard old trusty old tulips. Probably out of my very first set of hooks that I ever got given. From my husband and daughter. It was like I'd bought myself like a little BOYE set, like all metal, no good handles. And then I was doing some work and realized that I couldn't crochet 12 hours a day with those hooks and still be able to, you know, do anything with my hands after that. I couldn't pick up a bottle of milk. I couldn't grip on paper. It was really affecting my hands. And so I moved over to For that particular project, I moved to a poopy gold. It was a 3mm, poopy gold 3mm. And after that, I realized, yep, I definitely need hooks with handles. And a friend of mine was just like, have you tried this kind with these squishy hook? And I hadn't at that stage. I'd not heard of Clover's. None of that. I wasn't selling hooks or anything like this. This is how old this is. I was not selling hooks or anything. And I went to a local yarn store and she ordered me in a set. And it was fantastic. And every now and again, because of the silicone ages, I've got to give them a little zhuzh up so they don't get sticky. But other than that, these things have been firing along for years. I've actually got, like, because I went away to retreat and someone needed me to bring some tools, like as in knitting needles and crochet hooks and stuff. And I basically took all my sets. And so I've got that in there as well. Look at that. So that end is already woven in, basically. It just needs to go back the other way. I do like to go both directions, and that's a personal preference. For some people, having that woven through those stitches, that might be enough. Actually, if it is actually woven through the stitches. Let me know in the chat. Like, I don't think you can see it. So this particular one was actually woven through all of these stitches as I was working them. So, which is why you can't see it, because it's the same color. Do you reckon? See, I'm still tempted to pop a needle on it and run it through the middle of this, just to run it through again. Would you do that, or would you not bother? Let me know in the chat. Oh, also, hello, that was, oh no, different color. Wow. What have I done there? They are very different. Oh no, they're not too bad. I thought they were very different sizes for a second there. It's just because of how they were sitting. All right. I'll just keep going. Let me look at the time. Yep, we're doing fine for time. So yeah. One thing I'll say about this, these guys, this bit is recessed into the cup. So my big fat nose doesn't hit it. My big fat nose hits this. So, and that was something that Abby was asking about, because unfortunately I've shared my nose with my daughter. And she was actually saying, how do you find drinking out of these cups with the lid on? She actually, while she loves them, and because she's now a Yeti girl while she's been away, Abby's a Yeti girl now, she actually doesn't drink with the lid on. She takes the lid off. So, because it bangs in her nose. And it does. It bangs on my nose as well. Because we have huge snozzes, you know. Sorry, that's what we have. Can your brain be happy with that weaving? I don't think it can, honestly, Leanne. I think you're right. I think that's exactly where I'm at. But in saying that, I think my brain would be happy enough just to run it through once, because it's already done the corner turning. Because it's got to change direction at least once, and it's already done the direction change technically. So I think I could be happy just to weave it through and trim it off. I think I truly could be happy with that. We'll just have to wait and see, honestly. I'll have to do one and see what's going through. I would weave it in because it's a Shannon thing. Yeah, and I've got a feeling it's going to be a Chantel thing too, Shannon, as well. Jancy says, I didn't run it back through the first time ever with the end wrapped in all the stitches. I figured it would never come out without the stitches pulling it apart. Oh, Jancy, you're braver than me. I don't know. I don't know what I'll do. Also, I think one of the reasons why I think I'd prefer to run it through as well is just purely, I don't even have a needle handy to do it, but just purely because I'm actually super happy with how that's woven in there. Just like if I just trimmed it off there, there'd be a little tail hanging out, which would do my head in. So I think I would like to just weave it through and you just pull it a bit snug, tighten it, and then cut it. And then when you loosen it off, the trimmed edge ends up in there. So it just hopefully hides that trimmed edge a little more. And I think that would be how I would justify it to myself. I think that would be it. I think it would just be, that's how I would justify my own existence to my own self. Saying that, there may not be enough of this one to do it with. Because it has I didn't leave myself a very long tail. Maybe that could be the trick. Just give yourself a short tail so you've got no options. um, Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right. And then over here. I think the big thing for me is now I'm feeling confident with that first one going in. Now I have to work out how to deal with the second one, like the end tail. So I think I need to rewatch that video. Definitely. I still need to rewatch the video. Even though I've worked out part of the process, I haven't worked out the whole process. But that's okay. Because even sorting out some of it's good enough. Let's have a look here. I'm loving your color. Thank you. I appreciate that. We'll buy more of the cloud cake. Oh, let me see. Hang on a second. Gabby bought a Karen cloud cake, has perfect phasing in orchid, and one Bernat baby blanket in white on clearance for $5. Nice job. Good work. That's some nice. I like that. We'll buy more of the cloud cake later, but I had a coupon. You guys get great coupons. We don't get any of that sort of stuff here. Let me go through here. You're loving the color selection. That is awesome. Kirby says, I'm still too anxious not putting knots in mine. I'm trying some of my... I don't use knots. Knots come undone. Like, I'll tell you from like a background of a weaver, if you need to snap yarn, you tie a knot in it and then you go like that and it just snaps. You can do it with silk. You can actually just pull silk apart in your hands if you tie a knot in it. So in my brain, knots are a weak point. So I actually, whenever I buy a yarn and I come to a knot, I cut it out and I work around it and I do all like joins with both, like it's a personal preference. But for me, I get anxious if I leave a knot in it. So I go back, I cut them all out and I don't knot yarn. But I know some people do, and some people also put in some what is that? It's stop whatever it is, fabric fray stuff that they use as well. Like there's lots of options, and whatever makes it so you can continue on with your project is totally fine. But I'm not a knot person personally. Leanne says, I'm not a fan of that kind of lid. Not a fat nose, but a long nose. I've only got one Yeti because I'm not a drink goblin. Oh, come on now. Come on now. I now have 4 Yetis. And we're going to have to, and because Abby's coming home and Abby's bought 3 Yetis while she's away and she's planning on picking up another one when she comes back because now she found out I have 4. She can't have less than me, apparently. All her life, we've had this one drawer full of like plastic plates and plastic cups and stuff like that. And I think I'm going to put it all like in a box and make it the Yeti drawer. I will leave some of the like big plastic cups that we use for drinking water and stuff. I'll leave those in there, but I think I'm going to move a lot of the other stuff out and make room for the Yetis, because where my Yetis sit on like a corner of the bench near the coffee machine, that's fine for a couple of Yetis, but it's not going to work if we've got this Yeti family now. Oh, my coffee is empty. Switch to the tea. All right. We're going into the pink. Hang on a second. I never finished at the gap, only in the middle of a group because of the thought of the end of the gap. Oh, fair, excellent point. Good point. Good point. Yeah, Shannon can't do knots either. Sally really loves that yellow and the red pink together. They do. I'm about to actually just do them together right on top of each other now. But yes, they really do look great, and they're very nice colors too. Like I'm very impressed with how the colors came. Like, sometimes when you look at a color online and you're like, I wonder what that's going to look like in real life. These are pretty spot on. Oops, I forgot to do the weaving thing. Go back. Oops. I'm like, make sure you're not crocheting with the towel. Kelly says our Yetis don't need a home. They're always in rotation. They're either in the dishwasher or in use. Yeah. Look, I mean, that is the case for me as well, but I don't think it's the case for Tim and Abby. Tim's water bottle's always in use, and I've got a feeling he's going to need to buy himself a second water bottle because, so he's got one in the wash and one ready to go kind of thing. Oops, did I snag that? All right. I personally think the pink and the yellow look better next to the blues, like with the blues in between them. But for me to be able to have like the plan that I want, I do need to put some of these next to each other. By the way, love looking at the row of yarn. Thank you. I went to an effort. Do you know? I did have to take some of the belly bands off and put them on the other way. And I did it. I was just like, am I going to be that? Yes, I'm going to be that person. I'm totally going to be that person. I bought another lid for my Yeti, one with a straw, and for some reason I almost always have difficulty screwing the lid on straight. Oh, okay. This particular one, like these guys here, I can screw all different lids on. That's cool. And these lids are interchangeable even. I can put this chug lid on this cup and I can put this lid on this cup because they're all ramblers. Not a rambler. This is a lid that just pops in and off. It doesn't screw in and off. So there's nowhere, I can't screw on another lid. So I don't know if I have any lid options. I'll have to look it up. I don't know anything about those ones. So I'll have to look it up. Maybe my friend Kelly, who knows about all things. Oh, Louie. I think I need to zoom out a little bit, dude. Just to get you in the shot there. You've gone the full stretch, dog. You've gone the full stretch. What's going on? Are you getting warm? You're very fluffy. Oh, Gabby, it's only 2 balls of yarn. It's only 2 balls out. They don't fit in your handbag? That's right. There's a whole box behind me here that my husband thinks is for other people. Well, technically it is for other people. It's for Christmas presents I plan on making. It's just not for other people to make the Christmas presents. So, I mean, am I lying? No. Am I being opaque? Yes. Would he actually care that much? Probably not, in all honesty. Probably not. Not now the box is in here. If the box was still out in the living room, which is where it was a couple of days ago, that's the issue. If it's in here, it's not an issue. I can have as much yarn as I want as long as it doesn't escape this room. It's when it starts encroaching on the rest of the house that it becomes a problem. Okay. I actually do like how they look together. I didn't think I would, but I do. Had an earache just spring on me. I just think it's from all the noise. I don't actually think it's a proper earache. I think it's a headache that's just around my ear. Is that even possible? I don't know. I'm sticking with it. Get out of there, you. Alrighty. I am doing the right side of this yarn. That is good. Good to know. Good to know. All right, let me have a look here. You had to hide them in your target bag. Okay. Yep. Good job. Um, oh, you think it's a you issue? Sally? Yeah, sometimes. Look, I'll be honest, sometimes, especially in the morning when my eyes aren't working, I'll need a second go at getting the lids on. Just because I don't think my eyes actually do really work first thing in the morning. I think they're just a little bit upset that they're forced to be awake and they'll prefer to be asleep and therefore they are being mean. Apologies, but I'm going to have to dip out early and have a shower. I'm going to rage. Nobody wants to see that. Okay, yeah, fair enough. See you later, Artsog. Have a good one. Alrighty, in we go to there. Got our 2 pink squares. Alrighty, next colour. We don't use the yellow and the yellow. We do use the teal. I think the teal and the yellow is going to look great. And Leanne, I think this is where I'm at as well. I really think this is where I'm at. My husband would never begrudge me my yarn but it's my own guilt. Once I left a hefty yarn purchase in my boot until I didn't feel the guilt. Yeah, like for some things, I definitely feel the guilt over my purchase. And like, okay, prime example, right? I had to buy shoes, and I needed them specifically now because I want to wear them away. I work from home. I quite often live in slippers and socks and flip flops and things like that. Like and really old daggy runners, right? Because just about nobody sees like my feet, really. I mean, I do have some nicer shoes, but it's also going to be stinking hot over there. So I wanted something supportive like runners, but lightweight. And I was really torn about what to get. And I went and had a look at a Skechers store. And I've got wide feet, so finding little short wide feet shoes, nightmare, right? It's like buying clothes for me. Little short wide clothes, nightmare. I split that yarn. Let me fix that. Anyway, Skechers had a couple of really nice pairs in a wide, and I couldn't decide between them. They were totally different styles, different colors, totally useful for different outfits. So I bought both, and I felt guilty about it. I was just like, oh, I hope Tim doesn't get annoyed at this. And when I got home and that night I was talking to him about it because I was just like, you know what I did? I spent crazy money on shoes today. And I told him what I spent, which, 2 pairs of Skechers, not the cheapest thing in the world, especially not in Australia. And he was just like, so some perspective here for you. I'm like, yeah. And he goes, when was the last time you bought runners? And I was like, oh, I don't know, it'd be the Sauconys, right? And he's like, yep. And you're still wearing one of those, aren't you? And I'm like, yeah, they're my daggy runners. And he's like, yeah. He goes, that was before COVID. And I was like, what? And he goes, that was well before COVID. You were still doing Bendigo. They were your magic shoes. That's at least 5 years ago. And I was just like, no, it can't be that long ago. And he's like, yeah, it is. He goes, so he's like, so you needed 2 new pairs of runners because the last pair you bought was at least 5 years ago. He goes, I'm surprised you haven't needed more between now and then. So, and I was just like, oh, okay. So my guilt was my guilt. It wasn't anything else except for my own guilty thoughts. And so sometimes we do that to ourselves. Sometimes we think, oh, someone's not going to approve of something, but really it's our own guilt about spending money on ourselves. I very much like those 2 colours together. I think that looks great. Let's just pull this yellow tail to the back just so we can see it a bit clearer. I think they look gorgeous together. I don't know if you can see it because it's a bit far away, but there we go. What do you think? Might be an Australian thing. Just realised it could be an Australian thing. Green and gold together. Um, but yeah, sometimes the guilt is ours. Sally says, I need a new pair of plain white sneakers when I go to Melbourne in October. I don't know. Like, that's the thing. Like, what kind, like, do you want sneakers or do you want like those little cute flat ones, or do you want like runners with like good support? You know, like there's so many options. See you later, Mel. And that's the problem. There are usually a lot of options for things. So it's going to be a case of go and try some things on. Shoes are like one of those things that are really hard to buy online if you've never bought them before. I personally try not to buy shoes online unless I'm just buying a new color, you know, and I've definitely done that. I did that with my Sauconys. I bought one pair in store that cost a ridiculous amount of money because Australia is dumb. And then I picked up the exact same shoes in a different color from Amazon USA, saving $200, even though they had to be posted to Australia, which was just ridiculous, I thought. But I bought them because, holy crap, they were so comfortable. And I have murderated them. They have been murderated. It took a lot of time of me, you know, stomping around in them, dyeing a million skeins of yarn in them. And they are. One of them, their little bottoms is all flipper-floppying off. I probably could, if they weren't so smooth, it would probably be worth just, you know, using some shoe glue and sticking it back down again. But it's actually really like bare. Yeah, I saved $200, Kirby. I'm not kidding. They were $280 in Australia, and I picked them up for $80 on Amazon. And they were not off-brand. They were not, I bought it from the actual shoe store's Amazon store. We pay ridiculous money just because of where we live. Like, everyone's like, oh my God, Australians get paid so much. And it's just like, oh, I'm sorry, do you have any idea how much it costs to live in this country? Like, you know, we do have a solid minimum wage. Our minimum wage is, what is it now? About 22 an hour, I think, is our minimum wage in Australia. But you can't rent a house or an apartment by yourself if you're working full time for minimum wage. You would need to flat. You would need to have someone in a spare room. Even if you lived an hour out of the city, you would still need to do that. Like an hour in public transport. I mean, like not an hour's drive, because that's actually not that far because of the traffic. But yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, it's just how much it costs. Kirby, look, I don't usually spend that kind of money on shoes either, honestly. And it was a big step. But these are really good supportive shoes that actually made my knee not hurt. So that was cool too. And they have lasted over 5 years. So it's not like, usually I'm that, oh look, $40 shoes from Kmart or Target, you know, like the super cheap, nasty shoes. That's normally where I'm at. But these ones were great and they were fantastic. And they made it so my knee didn't hurt like the second I put them on. That's why I called them my magic shoes, because they were wonderful. I could actually stand up and walk around for hours on end with zero pain. They were magic shoes. But yeah, we do pay Australia tax here. Sally says, I'm thinking some Nike because now hang on a second, bring that in. I'm thinking Nike because now Nikes fit my feet. They need to be comfy because I'll be walking around packs for 3 days and I want them to go with everything I wear. That's the advantage of the white ones for sure. Definitely. And you do want them to be very comfortable. Yeah, those shoes do sound worth it, and you did save 200. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I know that I probably I went into a fancier end sporting shoe store. I did the walking on the fancy little mat so they could work out where my feet rolled and everything. I paid for a service as such, and they just build that price into their shoes, right? But once I knew which shoes to get, I was just like, I do not want to pay that price again, but I definitely need a second pair because it was just like, oh my God. I probably wouldn't have bought them, but my husband was with me and he was just like, you are not in pain. And I was just like, yeah. And it's just like, then it's worth it. So, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it depends on what they do. Like, I'm not one of these people that go out and spend that kind of money on shoes just because they're pretty. And not that I buy yarn. You know what I mean? Like, I'll spend money on yarn. I've got other hobbies I will happily spend money on. I'm not a shoe person. Some people are shoe and handbag people where they will spend thousands of dollars on a pair of shoes. And they absolutely love their handbags and shoes. And I'm not going to yuck somebody's yum, but that sort of thing is not me. I will spend like $1,000 on a spinning wheel, which I actually haven't done for a really long time, but because it's a spinning wheel. The shoes that I had, they were Saucony Hurricanes. I don't know if they're still around. They were not available in a plain white, and they're a bit chunky, but it was that chunkiness that stopped my foot from rolling, and that's what I needed. So they may not do what you want them to do for your particular needs, but they definitely worked for mine. Travel around Susie, she's here. That's awesome. I have feet problems. I spent $100, which is a lot for me, but I don't regret it because I'm not crying anymore. Yes, being able to take a step without tears is a bonus. And I'm not kidding. There were days where I would just look at my shoes, like if I had to go and do something where I knew I was going to be on my feet for hours and hours and hours on end. And I would nearly like just be so frustrated that I might even cry before I even put them on, because I just knew that by the end of the day, I was going to need ice packs and pain relief and all sorts of stuff. So now I'm fussier with shoes. I don't buy them all that often. And because I am in the house a lot, they do last a long time. And I just, sometimes you just got to spend the money. And Travel Around Susie's in the US. So I'm speaking 280 Australian dollars. Okay. So that's not US dollars. That's Australian dollars. So, and so that's something to keep in mind as well. I'm talking in Australian money. Whereas Susie here, her 100 would have been in US dollars. Spin Girl says, I have a permanently damaged foot. I hate shoe shopping. It's so hard to find something I can actually walk in that isn't hideously priced. Or hideous. That's the other thing. Like, trying to find shoes that are comfortable, that are not hideous. Like, I'm sorry. I'll tell you a funny story the other day. I've bought some new sandals, the ones that I love very much. And I like to wear my sandals in with socks. And we went to go out for lunch, and I nearly walked out the door with my socks and sandals on, my little brown sandals with my pink socks. And I just started laughing, and Tim's like, what? And I was like, I nearly went out the door in my socks and sandals, Tim. And he was just like, I don't think anyone would care. I'm like, I care. And ran in and took my shoes off and ripped the socks off. But yeah, it's really funny. It is. It's very funny. Yeah, Rebecca says my brother spent about $350 US for a pair of Red Wing work boots, so his feet stopped hurting. It's one of those things. Just finding something. And every now and again, you can absolutely nab a bargain, which is how I felt about my second pair of Sauconys. You can absolutely nab a bargain. But usually, not usually, but sometimes you just need to spend that money to get the shoe that doesn't hurt, or that stops your legs from hurting, or whatever it is that makes it work and worthwhile for you. Like, sometimes you just need to just do it. Just do it. Bianca says, I'm the same. I have a lot of trouble getting shoes that fit comfortably and not ugly and within my budget. Because that's the thing. You need the trifecta. We all need the trifecta. It's got to fit our whatever our budget is, and we all have different budgets, but we all struggle with the same thing. So it's got to fit our budgets, fit our feet, and be comfortable. And not ugly, not hideola. None of us want hideola shoes. Let me know in the chat, are you okay with wearing hideola shoes if you had the choice not to? Because sometimes you just don't have the choice not to, which is annoying. But life. Let me have a look here. Maru says, my brain can't figure out how to make a rectangle shape around this large round sunflower, and I can't find any tutorials on how to make a rectangle with a circle center. There's actually tons. Just trying to think of one off the top of my head. There's one called, look for a wheel square, like a granny square wheel, or sunflower is another one. There's a few out there. 1, 2, and 3. Let me look here. I tend to buy men's sneakers. They're more comfortable and cheaper than the comparable women's ones. Yeah, my problem is that I've got small feet. I've got a women's 7, which puts me into a men's 5, and they're hard to find. They're not really around. Holly says no. I would not be okay with hideous shoes. Yeah, agreed. Leanne says, I would have pointed and laughed, soz, never do socks and sandals. Yeah, I agree with you. I would have had a snicker at someone who did that as well. Bianca, I'm the same. It's a choice between hideous but comfortable and gorgeous but painful, it'll be the hideous that comes home with me. Yep. Sometimes then none come home with me. If I can't, if they're so hideous, I just can't bring myself to spend the money on them. I just can't. If I think I'll have to battle with myself to put the shoes on my feet because they're so hideous. And we all have different tastes. So what I think is hideous, you may not think is hideous. What you think is hideous, I may not think is hideous. We all have our own taste. But what you perceive as hideous, you have to put on your feet every single day to make up for wearing it. Holly says a size 7 isn't that small. My best friend wears a size 4.5 to a 5. Look, I think it's like the small popularish size because finding a pair of 7 wides is impossible. Because I also have a small wide foot and a high arch and a high instep. Like everything that makes it harder for finding a shoe is all in my little tiny foot. Very frustrating. Yeah. Bianca says, that's right. I most often come home empty-handed from shoe shopping. Oh, me too. One time when we were living in Sydney, my husband, when my husband and I first got married, I had to go shoe shopping. And I was like, oh, you don't want to come for this. And he was just like, yeah, dude, come on, we'll go. We'll go together. We'll have some dinner or something afterwards. And I was like, okay. And I tried shoes on in every single shoe store at the Hornsby Westfield, which was at the time the second biggest Westfield in the Southern Hemisphere. I couldn't find a single pair of shoes. And I was so frustrated and grumpy and just so disappointed. Oh, we finished the second pack, by the way. 2 down, 2 to go. 4 to go, I should say. 2 down, 4 to go. I was so frustrated and just so that I was nearly in tears of frustration. And he was getting annoyed because he's like, what was wrong with those? I'm like, they weren't comfortable. And he was like, well, what was wrong with these other ones? And I'm like, they were ugly. And they made my fat parts of my feet look fatter. Because we don't want that. We don't want the fat parts of our feet looking fatter. Safety boots and work shoes is trickier because you've got to have them. I just suck it up. It's like if I just have to have those, I just have to have them. Yes, I wish I could go to an old school cobbler so I could just get handmade shoes that fit my weirdo feet. I'm with you on that one. Absolutely with you. Absolutely. Christina says, work required, all black, but I walk a lot at work. So yes, they're ugly, but they keep my feet and legs happy. Yeah, work shoes a totally different story. Like if you have to have like, you know, steel caps or you know, leather lace ups or whatever it is that you need industry specific, you don't get to choose those. You just have to wear them. So get the comfy ones. So, oh my gosh. Yes, I'm the same with jeans. I just don't wear jeans anymore. Every now and again, I'll find a pair and then I'll wear them till they die, and then they die, and then I'm sad again because I have no jeans. Yeah. It's just, what did I do with my hook? There it is. It's just one of those things, you know. The whole jeans thing makes me sad. I forgot to weave it in as I go. Because if I can get at least half of the ends pre-woven in, I'm a happy girl. That makes life easier. I do need to watch the tutorial to see how I get the other half in. Does the tutorial show how to get the other half in, or am I just doing what they recommend? I did my chains. Okay, alrighty. I should have left that alone. It was perfectly fine. There was nothing wrong with it. Anybody else here pull out perfectly fine stitches and they go, oh, and then just have to put them back in again? Yeah, that's what I just did right then. Let's have a look. Yeah, Kelly says you might have better luck buying jeans in the US. Maybe. I'm definitely going to have a look. Definitely going to have a look. Many, many years ago, I found boat shoe steel cap ladies shoes. They were really comfy and you could, it could stand me dropping $2,000 worth of coins on my foot. Oh my gosh. Awesome. When do I leave my trip? Next Saturday. Not this Saturday coming, but the one after. So, you know, on the 31st. And today is the 22nd here. Jancy says, I just found a pattern free from Mood for Jeans for plus size. I'm going to try making some. Oh. Who is it? Laura Nelkin makes her own jeans. And they look fantastic. Maybe we just need to go back to having all of our clothes and shoes custom made. You know, they've gotten to this point where the clothes that you buy in store off the rack are no longer fitting the majority of people. Like, because look, I bet we're all different sizes and everything. It's not even just a size thing. We're all different heights. We're all different sizes. We're all different everything. And it is harder for custom. Does anybody here watch the Phryne Fisher murder mysteries? Let me know if you've seen them before. I'm thinking of a particular episode, and I'll go into details in a second. Yeah, it's so very close. I'm just like, what? Good evening, Thrifty Crocheter. Great to see you. Great to see you. Oh, that's the other thing. They don't last a few washes. Absolutely. Many of us are doing that with our knitted and crochet garments. Yes. Yes. Maru can't seem to find any ways to square off her round things. If someone can grab a link for a tutorial on how to, something that's got a round middle, Maru, it may not be identical, and depending on how you've made your sunflower, you may have to sort of jimmy it. But yeah, it's, oh, what am I doing there? But there are plenty. I'll see if I can find one and drop it into the fun zone over on Facebook and Discord. And see if we can't find something that way. But not yet, after the stream. But yeah, so there's an episode where Phryne Fisher and her and Miss, oh, what's her name? Oh my gosh. Phryne's getting a dress made for a fancy thing. And they talk a lot about when it became more commonplace to start buying clothes off a rack rather than buying custom made couture. And part of it comes down to cost and time, but part of it came down to what was on offer. So yeah. Dot, thank you. Dot, Miss Dot. I love Dottie. She is so cute. These two colours are very, very similar. And luckily it'll only be 2 squares that have those two together. Yeah, they don't contrast quite enough, but I'm still going to put them next to each other. You're 3 away from 300. That is awesome. Congratulations. That's so cool. That is so cool. Nizpin Girl says, I really hate bra shopping. Finding something that's comfortable and actually fits is next to impossible, making me feel like I have weird. Yeah, I get that. I totally do. I started hitting up City Chick. And the first thing that I did was I actually did an independent bra sizing. I went online and I learned how to work out my own proper size because I had been into a store, not City Chick, a different store that was all lingerie, and they told me what size I was. They did the measurings and stuff and then told me what size I was. And every bra I bought in that size hurt and was uncomfortable. And then a few years later, I found out that store is notorious for missizing people and just trying to get you into whatever size they have in store. So they had said I was a 16 double E, which I am not, right? And I was dubious, but I didn't know better. And it was just the idea of it felt ridiculous, right? And then I did my own, like I Googled up and learned how to do proper sizing by myself and how you work out the measurements. And you just need a good tape measure and be able to sit your tape measures properly, which the videos tell you how to do. I see you later, Holly. And it turns out I was not that at all. I was an 18D. And that seemed more realistic. And then when I started buying the 18Ds, shock among shocks, they actually fit comfortably. And not all brands, obviously, but I was actually able to start finding some that fit comfortably. It was not a store that began with V. I know the one you're thinking of. But it was something like it was a popular lingerie store in Australia. And because I thought I was doing the right thing, I went to a specialty store to get fitted. I bought what they suggested. I figured it was just a bit uncomfortable because I was in a store and I wasn't, comfortable in the store at all. And yeah, that was just happened to be the biggest of their sizings that they could fit. It turns out at that stage they didn't keep 18 anythings. So they just put me in a bigger and a bigger cup to give me the extra back room that I needed. So nothing fit properly. And, it was just ridiculous. So learning how to do these measurements ourselves to understand exactly our fit is empowering. Now, obviously, it's always going to come down to the make and the cut of the actual garment as well, just like anything else. But starting with the right size is just such a good thing to do. For a second there, I thought I screwed up that corner, but there we go. Yeah, and it's the same thing when we're making our own clothes and garments. When we're crocheting and knitting our own tops, is making sure we're making the correct size. And making sure we've read the pattern properly. Are we looking at the finished size measurements or are we looking at the actual bust size required for the garment or the actual hip size? Like, is it the finished size or the size for the clothing? I'm just trying to think of the name of the store. Yes, it starts with a B. Yep. Yeah. I think you've got it. Thank you, Game Widows. Here we go. form a bra fitter here. You need to take the measurements, then grab bras either side of the size in different brands and then try it on, and then look at how it fits and feels and how the person feels in that size, because some of us are more sensitive as well. Like some of us is just straight up have sensitive skin, whatever. There might be something they do and don't like. Like, yeah. I did do my chains there. Good girl, Chantel. It just looked a bit bunched up. It is just tricky. These things are tricky. These things are not comfortable to have to try on to buy. It's just part of life, you know. And the other thing that I get really frustrated by is the stigma placed on what is acceptable to talk about publicly. We are talking about garments that we are expected to wear every single day of our lives. Why can't we discuss it? Why does it have to somehow be rude or crude or whatever to discuss the fact that getting a bra fitted can be painful, uncomfortable, and they can just be outright lying to you? Like, why can't this be a conversation? It's, you know, it's just a part of life, especially like for a female or someone with a bust. It's just a part of life. It's no different than buying a pair of shorts. You have to have it. Yeah, Rebecca hates shopping, period. Yeah, me too. I really do. I hate clothes shopping. I hate shoe shopping. There are so many different shapes. Some are forward protection, some are sides, some have two different. Yes, all of these things. Yes, I'm always amazed and don't understand women who get home and need to take their bra off to be comfortable. They're just the wrong size, but never think that's the problem. Yeah, like, but for some people, it's just about being enclosed in that as well. I'm with you though, Jance. I'm not that person, but some people are, and if that's what it takes to be comfortable, I would not be comfortable if somebody knocked at my door and I was not in one. So I basically wake up and put one on. That's sort of just what I do. So different people, different strokes, different folks, for, you know, for their things. But understanding that we need to talk about it and learn from other people, and like that it's okay to discuss these size fittings. You know, I was sitting here deciding whether or not I could even say bra on YouTube. And I was just like, can I? It's like, I don't know why I can't. But yeah, it's just, you know, so many things. It's very frustrating. Here we go. I found I really like the wide in my size, but it's so hard to find a wide in any size. So I usually stick to the brand that I use. At least they fit decently. Yeah, I'm assuming that's shoes, but yes, absolutely. Look, I will quite often find a brand and stick. Like, look, the bras that I found that I love, they're a City Chick t-shirt bra, and I just buy them over and over and over again. Oh, look, there's a new color. I'll have that in that exact size, in that exact style. Yeah, yarn shopping and tool shopping, and the shopping, tech shopping is good. Anything that has to go on my person, no. Although I have found that lately I've enjoyed handbag shopping. Game Winner says that because of my size, my luscious size, I was a very popular fitter. I couldn't actually wear what we sold, but I knew my job. That's awesome. Bianca says, I don't think I've ever had one that fits properly. And yeah, it's also like, do you like wire? Do you not like wire? There's so many options. Do you want underwire or not? You know, like, do you like a halter neck or not? Like, there's so many comfort issues that need to go into place. Like for me, anything in a halter neck that pulls on the back of my neck in any shape, fashion, whether it's a top, swimmers, whatever, I can't wear it. And I often sit there thinking, how do these ladies that are, you know, top heavy, fit, like not fit, but feel comfortable with that halter on and not just feel like they're being pulled and dragged down? Because that's how I feel whenever I wear a halter top. And it might even be so soft and loose and flowing that it's not physically possible for it to do that, but I still feel that. It's just one of those things. It's very frustrating. But everyone has their own different foibles and quirks and comforts and all the different things, and that all has to be taken into account. Halter's hurt. Yeah, Sally's with me on Halter's hurt. Awesome. Yeah, Mara was like, yeah, shoes. No, it's all right. I was just like, I was reading it and I'm like, yeah, she's definitely talking shoes. So, oh, I forgot to go over the tail on that one. I shall go back and grab it. Let me just look at the timing. We've just gone a little over. I'll just finish this little square. But as usual, talking about all the things, we don't, there's no hold bars. No bars hold here, hold bars here. I don't know. We can talk about whatever we want. We're crafters. We're just crafting with our hands. We can talk about whatever we want while we're doing it. There we go. No, I have to go back. There's a little loop there. I was looking at it. I'm like, no, I'll leave that. And then I'm like, no, I won't. I need to fix it. I have to have it not there. It's like I must have not snagged up. Like, you know, sometimes when you just split the tiniest part of the yarn off and it's like not a whole split, but you can see that it's loose on the side. That's what it was. I could see it and I wasn't, and if I knew I would have crocheted over it on the next row, it would have been fine. But it was in a spot that I knew wasn't going to get crocheted over. So I was just like, I'm going to keep seeing that. That's going to do my head in. All right, there we go. Alrighty. Vampy says it took me 20 years to figure out my size was not what I was being told it was. So much more comfy these days with the correct level of support. That's why we need to learn how to do it for ourselves. We cannot trust the stores, you know, and like that's, I feel like we can't trust, but we can't trust the stores because they're going to fit us into what they sell. And you know, because they want us to fit into something that they sell. And I get it. And, you know, they've got to pay for people to learn how to do this thing. But I just want it to not do that way. Yeah. Look, eventually, even using bra bags, which is just these, you know, these fine mesh bags or very, you know, like easily, the water flows through very easily bags. Yeah, they don't last forever. That's just how they're made. They don't last forever. There's another job for AI. Oh, absolutely. I'd be like, yes, please. Scan our bodies and output clothes that fit perfectly for the individual. That's a Jetsons thing again. It's not a Jetsons thing. It's a Jetsons thing again. I know. Like seriously, that's exactly what I want. That's exactly what I want. Jancy, I don't think it should even be like, I think everybody should understand how clothes fit, because the number of things that my husband has no idea that I have to struggle with purely because it was a girl's thing versus boys thing. I do think that every person needs to know how to double check their own sizes. Like, yep, the girls might need to go off and do their bras on their own, but everyone can do their waist sizes together. Boys specifically need their inner, what is that one called? Where it's from the inside. Oh, even girls actually for pants, but your inside leg measurement. That could be another one that's a bit awkward to do in a mixed situation if they're teenagers and all like. Rrr. But yeah, it's something we all need to learn to do for ourselves, is to get our own correct measurements, and to there's actually tape measures out there. I've got one somewhere that's designed for one person to be able to do a measurement, and so it's got the it's got like a, you know, retractable tape measure, but then you slot the tape measure in and then you can move it around and make sure it's just sitting perfectly, like, because you don't want it tight but you need it to hold and all this sort of stuff. So yeah, I agree. They should be teaching everybody how to measure our own clothes to make sure they fit. But bra sizes, oh my God. How many of you, I'm assuming that we've got all girls in the chat here. I'm so sorry if you're a dude and you're putting up with this tonight. You just have to understand that we go through this every single day. How many of you have seen those ads on Instagram or TikTok or whatever it is, where they're like, oh, look at this cool bra that we have. And look, do your bras fit like this? And every time you look at it, you're like, that bra is too small for that person. No wonder it doesn't hurt. No wonder it hurts. No wonder it's leaving a mark, whatever. Trying to explain to my daughter that a well-fitting bra doesn't leave red marks on your body. That's another one. That's a fun one. But yeah, it's just because we're told by stores and social media that we need to be buying particular sizes. And that size is more important, like the actual tagged size is more important than the actual fit. And that just does my head in every single time. I've gotten to the point now, like in two different stores, I'll be looking for a similar shape of pants, right? Two different stores have two totally different sizes. I now no longer care what size. They could write pajama. They could write scissors. I don't care what they write on it anymore, because that means it's so totally meaningless. That number is not an actual measurement, at least on women's clothing. So that 10, 12, 14, 16, whatever it is, it's not an actual measurement. My husband's waist measurement on his pants is his waist measurement. Why can't women's clothing do the same? Anyway, I'll probably die on this hill. No one wants to see what their actual measurements are. They're happy to have like a broad. No, I want the actual measurement. So yeah. Yeah. And I do the same thing, Mel. You have to. You absolutely have to. Anyway, I'm going to run away. I need to go and have some lunch, and then I've got to get on and do some other work this afternoon. I hope you all have fantastic. Yeah, we've got a new soapbox, clothing sizes. Absolutely. I will see you all on the socials. I don't think I'm going to stream next week. It's a pretty solid chance I'm not going to stream, so please don't be looking out for it. And I will catch you all in a few weeks. Be good now. Bye.